Privilege is a really sticky topic, and I understand why. Um, we are not taught to engage on this topic. Again, people take it as a personal attack. Are you saying that my life is easy? My life has been so difficult. How could you possibly say that? I know for myself, when I talk about DEI or like related stuff, I don't call it necessarily DEI in Muslim spaces. Um, and the Muslims in my personal life tend to be immigrants or children of immigrants. I do want to be very clear that not all Muslims in the United States are immigrants. So please, let's break that stereotype. However, I am saying that in my world, my personal world, I am one Muslim. Most of the Muslims that I'm around are generally immigrants or children of immigrants. Okay. We can hold those things at the same time. Yes. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, is that especially when interacting with immigrants and trying to talk about privilege and like anti-Black racism or stuff like that, they're like, are you kidding me? I am an immigrant in this country, especially if they're a Muslim immigrant, especially if they're brown, especially if they have an accent, especially if they have a Muslim-ish, Muslim, whatever that means, name.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these other things, like they have so many areas of disadvantage that they have faced so much, like literally oppression in their lives. Sometimes they've been physically attacked, all of these things. And also, yes, we can have privilege. Using
Absolutely.
myself as an example, you can see that I'm incredibly lacking in melanin, right? Very pale. I have hazel eyes. And so even though it would be very easy for me to just get up on speaking engagements and be like, I'm a Muslim woman and I wear a headscarf. And so people can look at me across the street. And if they don't like Muslims, they can come and attack me. And I'm a woman in a very sexist, world.
Mm-hmm.
And what have you. I have ADHD, which I learned this year.
Okay.
So, like, okay, I have areas of disadvantage. However, the fact that I am either white passing or racially white, I'm honestly a little confused, but multi ethnic,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't change the fact that I have a level of privilege. I speak with an
Absolutely.
American accent, a Californian American accent. I am a US citizen, so I am currently living in the country of my birth and I hold citizenship. I have a passport in this country and so on. I don't have to worry about getting kicked out of the country. I don't have to worry about like my employment, and if I apply for jobs and I have to check the little box that I need sponsorship, I don't need to do that. Like so many areas of privilege that I have. And that doesn't mean, again, that none of the like areas of disadvantage that I have just like disappear. But then also the areas of privilege that I do have, I need to take account for those things, because if all I do is focus on my areas of disadvantage, is that I am actively ignoring folks who do share my areas of disadvantage and also have
And
further areas of disadvantage. For instance, I like to call in my Muslim sisters in faith who are Black, especially if they wear a headscarf. Like they have a completely different experience. They have anti-Black racism and sexism and like Islamophobia and right?
mm-hmm.
So me being like, oh, we're the same. No, we're not the same. Right.
Absolutely.
So anyway, having said that, right? Like, and you can see I'm very comfortable talking about this because I see it as where I have privilege are areas where I can actively take steps, utilize that privilege to make it easier and level the playing field for others who don't have that privilege. And of course, if they want to speak up, passing the mic very readily, making sure that sometimes you're just controlling the trolls in their, internet comment section or in person or whatever, supporting them, using that privilege, because we know, like, unfortunately, human beings, the way our brains work is that we like and are more likely to listen to folks who we identify with. We see as like, oh, you're similar to me, I'm more
Mm-hmm.
likely to listen to you. Great. So folks who identify looking like me, who wouldn't necessarily listen to a Black Muslim sister in faith, I can use that privilege knowing that, okay, this is something that I can do. Right. And it is a
Absolutely.
responsibility that I have.